Hello and welcome back to a very nice, wonderful dive in the streams. It's me and Dadalus, and today it has to be a certain way.
Left over right.
Why does that matter?
That's just the way we do it.
What if someone's left-handed?
Well, it doesn't right hand, left hand. Just do your left.
Yeah, but usually you default whatever. Okay, it's Daдаlus's birthday week. His birthday is on Saturday, and we're gonna do a special birthday dive today.
Okay, cool.
So, and he doesn't really know what we're doing, so it's kind of going to be surprise-ish. And he's got some nice chairs, you can see. I gave him.
Yeah, I got the good
because he still hasn't bought. These are like my outdoor chairs. Yeah. Like they're not bad, but they're it's outdoor-ish.
After a while.
So, buy your own chair, mister.
I'm going to give you a chair.
I paid for our dinner now, didn't I? Like a good son.
Tastes much better too.
Mo better.
Mo better.
Well, welcome. Hold on, let me put this closer. Welcome to the streams, everyone. So today we're going to be doing Dadalus' birthday, but we're not going to start with Sports Center. No, not Sports Corner. We're not going to do Sports Corner first. No. Okay. Instead, there's something else I want to discuss real quick. So Dadalus and I were talking, and I told him about if anyone watched the recent Final Fantasy Fun Time 14 or stream with me and Epsilon, my cousin, who you know.
Yep, I know.
We were talking about media and shows and stuff, and how I like anime and shonen. Because a lot of it has a lot of like dark stuff, but also a lot of livelihood, a lot of hope, a lot of like, virtues of the Lord, like coming through and saving the day and stuff. Good things, biblical. Mm-hmm. And a lot of Western American-based shows, we live in America, is more like dark, and it has like, and it's my agenda, and he won't see it coming whenever I betray, all that kind of stuff. And Epsilon and I were like, well, Epsilon's like, I think there's more that actually has what you're looking for. And you can't really do jovial stuff in a serious show and American stuff all the time. Dadalus has his own thing to say about it. What do you have to say, Dadalus? I love support coming from someone objective. Because he'll say it.
Well, I don't watch a lot of TV, so but
you watch more American shows than I do. You watch Altered Carbon. You've seen The 100.
Yeah. Those
You've seen
not network
Lost.
TV.
You did watch Lost?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch Lost? I thought you watched it. You've seen, what's other, that's network.
I watch stuff, I don't watch ABC, NBC, CBS.
But you watch American shows.
But it's still the same thing. Yeah, back in my day when we had Cops and Rogers or Robbers or Murder Mysteries, they were whodunits. Now I don't watch NCIS and all that horse shit, horse patootie, because it's just too dark, too serious. I really don't care. The other ones were more lighthearted. You still had
what other ones?
Well, back in the 80s, you had Matlock, the old Matlock. You had Murder, She Wrote. Going further back, you had Charlie's Angels, Heart to Heart.
But would you say that those are like
Hill Street Blues?
Would you say that those are comedies, or would you say
they
that
were
drama?
But they weren't so dark. You had somebody gets murdered. It was more tracking down who did it.
And the banter between the characters, and they're
like, everything's just more dark, and they put the time up, and the subjects are just so violent. I'm like, I can get that in real life.
And is there a lot of like silliness or like camaraderie? See, I'm not the only one. And this man, he may watch a lot of anime, but that's because I forced him to. He normally watches the normal stuff.
I waste my time in NCIS and what was it? My mom watched it all the time.
Mentalist. Bones?
My Mentalist, yeah, but she watched Criminal Minds. Yeah. Well, how freaking depressing do you need to get? It was just
okay.
Tried to make it so real.
There's not I don't care. Like I said on Sunday, I don't mind there being. I don't think shows like that are bad.
Who done it? They're not. You see who does it. They're just violent. They're serial murders.
What I'm saying is,
it's like
look. Sometimes, I listen to podcasts where they go over serial killers. Sometimes, though they have the funny personalities talking about it, which is why I care. But I don't think there's anything wrong with Attack on Titan and darker stuff. My argument is and correct me if I'm wrong. Why is everything that now? All of American media is basically that, or you're a comedy. You're either a comedy or you're that.
I don't watch it.
Do you agree? Am I wrong?
Look, I love Carbon Copy. If you have
Altered Carbon.
Altered Carbon. If you haven't seen it, it's very violent.
It's very good. Yeah, that's fine. But all the shows are that. All the shows are that.
A lot of them like that. Yeah. The 100. It's all very, there's not a lot of comedy in it. Matter of fact, it's probably
it's not just even comedy. It's like You've watched anime. The characters banter. Look, Bleach is very serious right now. There's a lot of but you still have Kurosaki Senpai laughing at the other characters and stuff. It's still there. It's a lot less, but it's still there.
Yeah, you don't.
Anime has that.
You don't get
even in the darker tones. Even Attack on Titan has fall. That's definitely one of the extremes, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's nothing comical about the
Perth.
Hi,
Perth.
But no, I mean, I like the old school because they were whodunit. It's like somebody gets murdered, just you find the dead body, and then you figure out there's.
But even because even
NCIS and all that, you generally see who it is. It's just violent today news, and they try to make it look so real. And I hate the bull crap of the attitude with the it's all about, they steal.
That's what I'm saying. It's all so. Look, it's from him. Look, it's not me. I'm not making the argument this time. I'm just saying, I feel like a lot of shows nowadays.
I don't watch them. They are dark.
There's no. Well, it's all and it's not just dark. It's also we don't laugh, and my agenda. It's all about personal agendas and stuff. Backstab. It's that's not. Who cares? They're jerks. So why?
Could be.
Perth. Hey, didn't expect to walk in the anime conversation.
But I watched something called Dark Matter. These are all sci-fi, and they had a lot of funny scenes in it. It was
Perth. It's very nice. Welcome to the stream.
But so what we watched, that's
Well, hold on. So what we're talking about, for anyone who doesn't know, we're not talking about anime specifically.
No.
We're talking about how American shows, to us, always seem so dark and it's all about the agenda and it has to be done and the heart. Whereas anime has dark stuff, but it also has livelihood. The characters care about each other. They banter. There's wholesome moments. American shows, if it's not designated this is a wholesome thing, then it's wholesomeness is a disease. They avoid it. It's wholesome's for kids. We want wholesome. That's Disney. Why is that Disney World? Why is that for kids? We were supposed to be raised biblically, when everything's pure, when everything's honest. Think on these things. That should be what we go to when we're adults more than anything, because we need it. Because we deal with the harder parts of life. Yeah. And yet all the shows are, all that matters really is, nothing really does. It's just making your best in this world. No, that's bullshit.
That's true.
And that's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a personal thing for me.
It's probably been in the last 20 years. I mean, like I say, that's why I don't watch any of that stuff. Now, there are some series on Netflix when I used to have it, I watched. Like I say, the 100.
And there's nothing wrong with some of that. I'm just saying that's all it is.
No, I agree.
Even at least Stranger Things, a big one that's good. I haven't seen season 4, please no spoilers. At least that did have good banter, though. The characters had good banter. And it got serious, but it also had silly, fun stuff. And it had silly, dumb stuff. It's not just characters laughing. L was attributed to egos, right? That's silly and stupid, but it's great because you associate, and it's something lighthearted in all the darkness, which is great. No modern show nowadays would ever use egos for anything, not unless. So it's really hiding the cocaine inside. Yeah, it's oh my god,
quick. It's very short. Now I watched also. Is it Joe Racher? The Tom Cruise made the movie. But then he made a TV series out of it.
No idea.
Maybe it's Prime.
I don't know.
Joe Racher.
Texas Ranger?
No. There's a movie called Tom Cruise made, maybe two, called Joe Ranger.
I have no idea what show.
Then Netflix decided that he wasn't in it, about the character, and it was 10 series episode. There's no laugh, it was good, but it's just.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Those can be good. There's nothing wrong with the series. It's just, that's all it is. That's why I watch anime a lot, because it has a lot more of the virtues that God puts forth that I want to follow. If I'm watching a hero, unless it's about a fallen hero and I know that going in, or I know it's kind of a darker story, I don't want to see a hero that's a douche unless they, redeem kind of arc. But if they're no, they're just kind of always like that, but the jadedness is the cool part. No, jadedness is not cool. Jadedness sucks. I don't want more jadedness in the world. I already deal with enough of it. Anyway, sorry, this has been the rant. Anyway, now we move on to Dadalus' birthday. And Dadalus, give us our start of the Sports Center. And I do say start. Give us a start of the Sports Center. What has happened in sports and college football specifically?
Well, the Gators are still winning. They're playing as a team. They kicked the cancer off the field.
Who did they beat?
They had a player.
Was it a bye week? Oh, they beat South Carolina? Okay. How bad?
Shot clock's not a great. Oh, they wore them out.
Oh, okay.
It was 28-6.
Go Gators! Hate to be small. Go Gators! It's Dadalus' birthday.
Heck yeah.
On the streams, everyone.
But you talked about brooding and stuff. That's where we are in real life. And he had a great player. He was a 5-star. He was a me guy. He never played up to his potential because it's all about him.
Oh, look.
What you're just talking about him. So all of his talent did nothing for the team because he never played for the team, played for him. So they kicked him off. He was the best player they had.
He says happy B-Day.
Oh, thank you.
Look there.
Oh,
look there.
Thank you. Well, the screen's over there, but the monitor.
I'll move it for now, but I have to move it later because we have
just keeps me moving.
I do that.
But once they got rid of him, he's the cancer in the locker room. And
there was another guy that was
100 times better.
There's another guy that was.
He's kind of straightened his act up. So the cancer
last year anyway.
They're playing better. They're starting to do what the coach says. They're starting to play as a team now, and that's his. He is pushing for team, not you. It's team.
And that's how it's supposed to be.
Guys are
the greatest leaders biblically are the greatest servants. Jesus washed everyone's feet to set the example.
So no sports for me. We're winning the last couple of games. If we could just win out, but keep recruiting, which he is. He just picked up a 5-star quarterback, number 3 guy in the whole country. So he'll be there next year. He's just building a team, but it's team first. And I like him because he's a Christian first. He's a very hard Christian man.
Well, that means that the values of the word, where love comes from, are being exemplified.
And that's what he's all about. He said he'd always be a high school coach because he wanted to touch kids' hearts. He just made it to college because he's so good, and he's all about the players, the team.
So
winning's a result.
Okay, so good. So how, by the way, give us the Georgia and the Alabama update.
Georgia wins. Oh, they won. I forgot.
They won. They're Georgia.
Yeah, but what are some upsets this week? I don't really remember.
Alabama?
Oh, yeah. Was that this week?
Dad, are you serious? You're the sports guy. I
know, but I've been working on that dock. The hurricane took the dock down. We've been busting it to build that dock. So I'm kind of tired. But was this the week that Alabama lost to – No. That's right. I'm sorry. Alabama played Ole Miss and went right to the wire and held off by – Ole Miss had a chance to score a touchdown to get in the game to win it or to tie it, and they didn't get it on a 4th down play. So Alabama's struggling. If I can get them to lose one more game, those dummies, those idiots in Alabama will run him off because, like I said,
Nick Saban, the coach.
They think he's great. That they're great. They're not. It's him. When they run him off, I can't wait. I will party like you've never seen. I will drink a couple beers because they'll just turn into a. You ever seen like a piece of turd on the cement when it dries up? That's what they're going to be. It'll be a dried up piece of turd. Now, this kid's going to play for Nick Saban, not Alabama. They couldn't find it on the map.
Perth is asking, Perth, not Perth. Perth, it is my Dadalus' birthday on Saturday. This is his birthday dive.
Yeah.
And he loves sports and college football, so I'm very sorry to myself as well.
Yeah.
We all know what this is going to be. Speaking of which, all right, Dadalus, we're not doing BioShock today because it's your birthday, and you deserve what you want to do.
Well,
so close your eyes and get ready for the birthday present because I'm not buying you something this year. Seriously, buying you something would be dumb.
I don't need any. I got everything.
Yeah, it's hard to buy for people later.
I got my
hold on. All right, hold on. Here we go. Hold on. I got to do that. So all the stuff is gone. All right, hold on. I'm going to zoom it in because heaven knows you can't see. All right, hold on. And hold on. Ta-da!
Oh!
We are doing
I can do this.
Best College Football Rivalry.
Oh, I can do this.
So here's what we're going for. All right, so there was another list that had best, like, just all the college, Title I teams.
Yeah.
And I was going to do it, but you're biased as heck. And you know where everyone's
What do you mean I'm biased?
I felt like that list would be less interesting than a rivalry list because rivalries are not about how much you like them; it's how good the rivalry is.
Yeah, I got you.
Whether it's legendary, really heated and good. When both are good, it's good. Occasional upsets, but it's usually pretty boring and stuff. It's average, it's whatever. It's called rivalry. And are these freaking rivals? Are you serious?
Okay.
So these are rivalries through everything. I thought that this would be much better. The team list could be good, and we'll do it at some point, but it's more biased. This is less. It's not. You'll be biased anyway. But
a lot of times rivals don't have to do all the time with how great the teams are.
I know that. That's what I'm talking about. So hold on. All right, so first off, Perth says, "Oh, happy birthday! I just happy birthday after 10 minutes entering your party. You're fine.
I appreciate it, man.
No problem. And thank you to Visma. I thought this was good too. All right, so Dadalus, you tell us, what is the criteria for the rivals?
Oh, wow.
What is the criteria?
It's always a rival is always good when the teams are good because it means that much more to the players. Because not only do they not like the other team, and that's the basis for it. The basis for a rivalry are two teams that want ownership. What do they want ownership of? Most of the time, your rivals are from the same state.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is because you're so prideful of your college and your state, you want people to say, oh, who's the best team in the state of Florida? You want it to be your team.
Mm-hmm.
You want to represent, like you kids say today, represent.
Represent.
So you want to be the face of your state and in the face of college football. And so now you got ownership. You got two teams generally in the same state, and each one wants to be the big boy, and the other one is going to be stuck being the little brother, which means the little red-headed stepchild. So the hatred comes because each team wants to be the team for the state. They want to claim we own the state, you rent it, you guys are second fiddle. So that's generally where
they want to be on the they want to be king of the hill.
Yes, they want to be the big boy in the state. The other
okay, but what else? There's other things.
Okay, then comes proximity. It could be this state and the next neighboring state. Now it comes to state pride against state pride. That's why I say college football is 1,000 times better than the NFL because it's tribal.
Well, also the rules.
No, it's tribal.
Well,
at its core.
Well, the rules too.
Well, the rules are not that much different.
The babying of players.
But that's not rules. That's just babying of players.
They're rules. They're literal rules. So you can't do certain things that make it softer.
They want to keep their big name players. But the basis of college football is primal. It's primal. It's my family. It's just like if like clans, the old day in the clans, the Hatfields and McCoys.
Mm-hmm.
It's, hey man, we got better football.
So it's
blood
feuds.
Yeah, it's like, hey dude, football. You guys we're way better at football than you guys. We're Florida. We got hundreds.
But there's also,
and in Georgia, in our case, would be like, we got a much better.
But Dadalus, isn't there also a respect between the two rivals?
Screw that. Nobody cares about that.
I try to do the whole anime thing of, and I respect them.
They respect the fact those are good players, but they don't respect them. That's going to hate them. But it's tribal. It's my family against your family. So interstate, as you'll see as they come up, is a lot of times because this is my family, this is my state, we take pride in our state, we got the best athletes in the country. Oh, no, you don't. We do. We have the best football, we have the best players. Oh, no. And that's why college, because generally speaking, the local kids will go to the local colleges. And that's why I'm proud when Florida has 90%. Well, but still, if you're good in your state, those kids will go play for you. If you suck, they still want to play on a good team, so they might go elsewhere. Right now with the money, so it's still a little different. But at the core, that's the way we think of it. That's the two big ones. And then, which makes a rival to the next level, is if they're both good. Because they want to dominate and say, I won the national title, or I won the Southeastern Conference, I won the SEC East or West. So that's what it's all about. That's why the NFL doesn't really have rivals. It's about money. Our city has one more thing.
Evil company.
It's not primal to them. Because the people that make up their teams are not from them. They have nothing to do with them. They just paid them more money to come.
All right. So, any other stipulations we need to know about how rivals are?
Not really.
Okay. So, we're going to go through the list. It's a bunch of teams, a bunch of things together. There will be bias, but this is Dadalus' birthday,
you can bet there'll be bias.
So just throw it out there. But remember, try to be objective about the rivalry.
I will be objective.
All right, so this is Cincinnati versus Miami, Battle for the Bell, 111.
Okay, so you guys are going to find out I don't know every team. Obviously, I know.
You know Cincinnati, Miami.
I know. No, that's Miami of Ohio, not Miami of Florida. But this is both same state.
Okay.
Ohio. Cincinnati is obviously University of Cincinnati.
How long ago was this? 111? Because some of these are from the past.
Yeah. So I can't speak. I would think they're both from the state of Ohio, so they probably don't like their smaller teams. Cincinnati went to I think they played in the Final Four last year. So the last couple of years they've been
Your
good.
mind's going. You really don't remember.
Yeah, I think they played Alabama. Remember we talked about Alabama?
I do remember.
So usually they're like UCF, the smaller schools.
Average.
I would say I don't know anything about it, so I'm gonna give them benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say they're average.
Okay.
If somebody up there can say, "Look, we're small, but we hate each other," then it's not a slap on them. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. That's fine. That's average. All right. Kansas and Missouri.
I mean, come on, Missouri has no business being in the Southeastern Conference. I don't care. They've done pretty well.
I told you.
They're not an SEC school. They're damn Midwest school. They do not have the fan base to be in the SEC. They don't play football like an SEC school. Their fans are not. Their stadiums chump.
Piss off.
No, that I said when we took them. I said they have no business being in the SEC. They're not an SEC school.
Before we started,
so they're in the
I
league.
asked Dadalus if he was ready to have opinions. What did you say?
I said, hell yeah. They have no business being in the SEC. They're not a South. They don't have a flavor of the South. Their fans
what
are not
does
passionate.
that mean?
There's a flavor. There's a flavor of anime. There's a certain style. There's a certain way we play football in the Southeast. And although they've done well. Matter of fact, for Florida, for some reason, they've had our number. We're even with wins and losses against them. Well, we've had 3 shitty coaches. If Missouri's watching, those days are over. With a good coach keeping Florida, we'll beat them like a stick. But no, I'm not going to go. The Jayhawks are in the Big 12 out west. They suck. They're great in basketball. They suck at football.
So
no
just rivals.
That's a joke.
All right.
Michigan State. Here's where the spitting contest. See, Michigan doesn't even want to acknowledge Michigan State. That rivalry is getting violent. They had a huge fight. After the game, Michigan beat Michigan State this year, and they have to run through the same tunnel. It's an old stadium. So they usually let one team go first, then the other. Well, Michigan State was going through. They just got kind of hammered. And Michigan's undefeated, so they're doing well. Michigan State's not. So one of the Michigan players, who's from South Florida, went up there to play. Very good cornerback. Decided to run up through the tunnel with Michigan State laughing at him. Well, he got around the corner, got on. I mean, there's going to be some criminal charges, I think, filed. But he got up around his lap. Michigan's about 5 or 6 of them. It looked like a fight you see down in the hood. They were wearing this dude. He got hit in the head without his helmet on. They were beat. They looked like something in New York when they were throwing them on the subway train. It was bad. So, and Michigan State hates the fact that they're the smallest school in the state. That's another fact.
They got insecurity.
You see that right there? It says University of Michigan.
Yep.
That means they are the University of Michigan. They are Michigan State. They are not.
So it's like Florida
State. That's right. So they don't like that. So that is a heated rival for sure. What's above heated rival?
Legendary.
It's heated because Michigan's much better than Michigan State, so it can't be legendary.
All right. Alabama LSU. You got to have some opinions about this.
That's a great rivalry, but keep in mind, LSU's been good for about 15 years. Back in the 90s, they sucked. I mean, they were average. I mean, they weren't great. Alabama, get ready, Alabama. LSU, you're overrated. Oh, LSU's always been overrated. They'll win 10 games, then the next year they'll win 8. Then they'll win 11. Then they'll win 10. Then they'll win 8.
10's not bad.
10's good, but then they'll go back to 8 and 4. Now, Florida, I'm telling you, for 10 years, we've been terrible. So I'm just letting you know that. We've been up and down. There's no doubt about that. But we got, 3 national titles. We got Heisman trophies.
How many national titles is LSU?
They got like 2. But
that's only one less.
No, but they've never been consistent. Florida's got, I don't know how many.
Florida hasn't been consistent for the past 5 years.
Like that, but I'm saying they had a 20-year run where they just beat people
sucked in the 90s.
Florida?
Yes. Or 80s.
Well, they back in the 80s, yeah, they were very average. Don't make the face.
That's more than 15 years.
I'm going to give you, you need to stop making that face.
That's 15. That's 15. Wait, but you said LSU's 15.
They won that title 2 years ago. Now they're back. They'll win 8 to 10. They'll win about 11 games a year, and that's it. They always do. So the rivalry has been good from 2010 to 2020 because Saban was there and the grass eater, I forgot his name, was there.
Oh my God.
And it was a good rival, but before that, I don't put that as a bigger rival as the next one. It's been around longer.
So would you just
I'm going to say when both are good. I've just never thought that's the biggest game on the planet.
Would you put it lower?
No.
Just when both are good, it's actually pretty okay.
Good. Otherwise, Alabama, they're just
All right, Tennessee.
Okay, Tennessee, Alabama's been around forever. They hate each other forever. Huge fan bases on both, just as above. I would absolutely say heated. Absolutely.
Not legendary?
No, I wouldn't say it's legendary. I'd say it's heated.
What is your criteria for legendary?
Well, you'll find out when you get there.
Bias, I'll find out?
No, it's just no.
All right.
That's a great rivalry. Alabama, Tennessee. Tennessee's gotten better for Tennessee. Beat them this year. But you got to understand, in college, you can go on runs where you'll
so same
punch. And then it'll be punch. While the other teammates, maybe a coach's change. Think about the rivalry. See, think about a rivalry is.
It's got to last.
Well, you can be
a true rivalry lasts.
Oh yeah,
still
lasts
good throughout all of it.
And the teams play their best when they play.
Yes, that's another criteria. Is the team play their best?
You can have like when Florida played Georgia, they were nervous because they know we're going to play our best. Records don't matter. A rivalry, records don't matter because both teams play their.
In that moment, that game is what matters.
Means everything. It's a Super Bowl.
That game and the legacy with it.
LSU Arkansas is a good football game. I don't know why they call it a rival. I would say there's an occasional upset because LSU beats them every year. Arkansas is just a good football team. They're not
an average or occasional upset?
Occasional upset. Arkansas will beat them every once in a while, but that's not. Okay, Georgia-Auburn is legendary. It's the oldest rival in football. Oh. It's the oldest rivalry in college football. They trade punches with the best of them. It's physical. They don't like each other. Both teams take each other's face off.
Oh my God.
See down here with LSU, Alabama, it's never, to me, ever been the biggest physical game. But they're always good games, but Georgia, Auburn don't like each other. They're close to each other. They go after the same players. They're chippy when they play. They play the game. Some of the craziest plays always happen because they play to the last second. There's no loafing.
They're all going
where
in.
LSU and Arkansas is upset kind of sometimes. They don't hate each other. But that Alabama, Auburn, or Auburn, Georgia, man, that's for the marbles, man.
You always watch that game?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Now, I mean, Auburn's been down a couple of years, and Georgia's...
But it's still always.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
See, you can have a rivalry where they might wear them out one year. That's going to happen.
Yeah, that's just how teams grow. Okay, so that's legendary.
Arizona State. I don't know much. I mean, obviously I know the teams, but I don't... There's something about the Southeastern Conference we have down here. We really have passion for football.
Look to the thing.
We do. I mean, they even make a commercial. It just means more. It does.
We.
I'm just saying.
As if it's part of the team.
No, the fans. It's us. It has nothing to do with the players.
You almost got in a fight.
You guys don't have to. When you live around, you follow these football teams in the South or the Southeastern Conference. Look, there have been some breakups in the family because one rooted for the wrong team. I'm telling you, it's passion. It is family against family. When you lose, it's like somebody died in the family. It's
all over.
I'm telling you, it's bad. It's brutal. We take it personal. Out west, it's just a game to them. So it's a riot. I'm just going to say
average because it's there.
I'm going to say average. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how much they kill each other. They don't live and die by football out there. I'm sure it's a good game, but it ain't passionate.
All right, what about these two?
That's the ACC.
Oh, no. What are the teams?
I don't know. North Carolina, Virginia. It's in the ACC, so it's a rivalry, one state against the other. But again, now if that was basketball,
ACC, for anyone who doesn't know, is the section of football players from the states
Atlantic
that
Coast
they
Conference.
don't like. Dadalus thinks.
I'm just saying, there's a style of. I don't watch ACC football. I watch SEC football, and most people who don't watch college football, like NFL, if they're gonna watch a game, it's the Southeastern Conference. Most people from other conferences always watch the SEC. That's why CBS spent tons of money on 3:30 in the afternoon on CBS. There's one game on nationwide. The SEC game they have. So the SEC game they play it nationwide. ABC has a 3:30 game. They break theirs into 4 quadrants of the country. So if North Carolina, Virginia was playing in the southeastern region, you would get that game. If Michigan and Michigan State were playing, you would get that up here. Because the passion nationwide is not for those conferences. They don't play the same, I'm just telling you. So I'm going to give you when they're both good, it's powder puff football. I wouldn't even watch them if they played. It's boring.
So is there occasional upsets that makes it interesting, or
You know what? I'm gonna go average. It's freaking ACC football. You're not gonna. It's powder puff football.
all right, we're gonna.
You can just move on. California, and Stanford, give me a break. Rivals. It's boring football out there. They don't hit. They don't play physical defense. If they win, oh great. If they lose, oh yeah. There's no passion. Georgia Tech. Even though Georgia Tech is ACC, they hate each other because Georgia Tech is the Ivy League school, if you want to call them that, even though they're not. They're the brainiacs. Georgia's a dumb hillbilly from the state of Georgia.
God.
Georgia's a much
The nerds versus the jocks.
Yeah.
Did the jocks win?
Yeah, it's not really a rival. It's a good rival.
So occasional upset, or when both are good?
Georgia beats them all the time. They call it a rival, but it's not close. And Georgia owns them, so I'm going to go with occasional. Sometimes Georgia Tech will beat them.
So if it happens, it's nice.
And the
actually,
hatred's not as much. It's because there's not that much passion.
Because there's not enough
Tech.
power on one. It's too one-sided.
Yeah, Georgia's passionate. Georgia Tech is,
Upset.
if we win, we got a good. They want to win, but there's no yearning.
All right, you're gonna get this.
Okay.
I feel the same way, Divismo. Hold on. Divismo says, I gotta say, I don't watch football. Me neither. But I appreciate your dad's passion. That actually makes this interesting.
If you're ever going to watch, I would suggest sit down, turn on the TV, go to ABC, one of those that will play in.
You're assuming these people have cable.
Okay, cable, whatever, ESPN. But look for like for the other one over here, look for an ACC school. Watch Georgia Tech play Virginia, or watch North Carolina play Duke, or watch NC State play Clemson. And you sit and watch it for like a quarter. Then you turn over and watch an SEC school. You watch Arkansas play Ole Miss. You watch Georgia play Tennessee. You watch Florida play LSU. You watch Alabama play Texas A&M. Watch it for a quarter, and you will see a huge difference in the style, the passion, the physicality. You'll see what I'm talking about. You're talking about laying the lumber in the SEC. You're talking about physicality. You'll see the defensive lines are so big and strong, the speed. And you'll see this is a different football. So give it a shot.
Yeah, Divismo, I feel the same way.
SEC would be CBS at 3:30. They have a national game. At ESPN, there's always an SEC game
on Saturdays.
On Saturdays. Okay.
So
both these teams are ACC. This is legendary. I don't like Florida State. I hate them with the passion.
You're saying this is legendary?
Yes, sir. They hate each other.
He hates Florida State, by the way. He hates these guys right here. And he's willing to admit this. That's big.
If Florida State was playing ISIS,
Ragheads, don't you dare. Don't you fucking dare. Don't you dare. I don't want to get canceled. Don't actually say that.
I don't care who they're playing. I hate them. I hope their records are so bad that they need money. They have to chop down that little erector set stadium and sell the metal for scrap.
Oh boy!
But this is a legendary.
Really?
Yes,
I didn't know
now
that.
Look,
but both teams suck.
Recently, it's been bad. Both teams suck, but they still hate each other. But man, you go back to the '90s and the early 2000s. Legendary. You're talking about SEC style football.
How much do they hate
each other?
How much do they hate each other?
They hate each other with passion.
How many fights?
Oh my God, legend! Go back and watch. Look up YouTube videos of Florida State Miami in the '90s. Legendary, absolute legendary.
Do they hate each other as much as you hate Florida State or Georgia? Like how much hate?
It's equal. Florida, Georgia is equal to Florida State, Miami. They hate each other.
Oh my God,
it's bad. Yeah, it's good. It's good. That's why it's good.
It's good, but it's bad.
Now, recently, both teams have.
That's just skill issue. They both suck.
Yeah, but.
Oh wow! I didn't know it was that bad.
Oh yeah, that's yeah, I watch that one every year. I pull for Miami every time because I don't care who Florida. My favorite team is University of Florida, the Gators, and whoever's playing Florida State is my second favorite team.
He might break my arm one day if I finish this through.
I'm gonna cut it right off.
What if my child
wanted
wanted?
Disown you.
He's only half joking.
Yeah, you got that right.
Okay, so next one. What?
This is
Oregon. What is this?
That's Oregon State.
Oh, okay.
Their nickname are the Beavers.
That's the dumbest freaking
name. That's a beaver with the teeth.
I got it.
Like I say, the Pac-12. The Pac-12 stands for Pacific 12. There's 12 schools. Pac-10. There's more than 10 schools. That's the old
That's
name.
like Ben 10.
But here's the
That's
deal.
like the series Ben 10. Everyone remember the kid with the Watch Return of the Aliens? When he got more than 10 aliens.
But here's the reason.
I'm Ben 10. Even though
Colleges have been playing college football for 100 years.
I know.
And
has it really been 100 now?
Oh, well, Georgia's been playing for over... Georgia Auburn has been playing over for 120 years.
Holy
The NFL is only like 60 years old.
I know that. You don't have to brag, Mr.
But, so these schools, back in the day, the Pac-12 had 10 teams. The Big Ten, which is where Michigan State. There's like 12 teams there now, but they're going to keep that name, the Big Ten.
It's been there forever.
Yeah.
It's like Ben 10.
But I do know they don't like each other. I think the Pac-12 is kiddie football.
What? Okay.
I would watch ACC.
Okay.
I would watch
wow,
ACC.
that's pretty good.
There's no physicality in those leagues.
Okay, besides the SEC, what other division do you even care about?
Not many. But if I had to watch, if somebody came to me and said, hey, you can't watch the SEC, what would you watch? It'd probably be Big Ten. At least they're physical. Michigan, Ohio State.
Isn't that these guys?
No, that's Oregon.
What is this, Pac-12? This is
Pac-12.
Okay.
So that's Oregon. They don't like each other. I had to go up to Oregon for training for a couple weeks, twice, and they don't like each other. It is a fun game. Although Oregon, I hate those uniforms. Some people like that chicken crap. But the Nike guy who owns Nike is a supporter of Oregon, so he gives them hundreds of millions of dollars. So they got the worst uniforms. And it's childish. So if you're an Oregon fan, it's childish. You know what their uniforms used to look like? What? The Green Bay Packers.
But they
looked just like it, except it had a D. No, an O with a duck.
O instead of a D.
With a duck coming through it because their nicknames are the Ducks.
The Ducks, yeah.
And, hold on, I need to tell you this. So we got Georgia Bulldogs, Auburn Tigers, Florida State Seminoles, Miami Hurricanes, Tennessee Volunteers, Alabama Crimson Tide, Michigan Wolverines, Michigan State Spartans, LSU Tiger. I already did Alabama. LSU
what were
Tigers,
they again?
Crimson Tide.
That's not an animal.
You know what Crimson Tide really is?
No.
Why we make a joke of them?
Oh, no.
Everybody's got a nickname you make fun of. You know what? Texas. You know, Longhorns?
Yeah.
And they got the Longhorn on the helmet?
Don't say anything that's going to get me canceled, please.
So what the Texas A&M did, which is a rivalry coming up, they drew the Texas Longhorn. You ever seen a Longhorn?
Yeah.
Like they drew it into a fallopian tube. That's like a woman's parts. So Alabama, when a woman is on her time, it's called the Crimson Tide.
We're not having this. Well,
So
what is the Crimson Tide actually?
Their mascot's an elephant. I don't know what the Crimson Tide is, to tell you the truth. It must stand for something. It ain't a woman's period.
Okay, great, okay.
Arkansas Razorbacks.
Of course, that's easy.
Georgia Tech Ramblin' Wreck.
What is a rambling wreck? These are the
because
mascots,
Georgia Tech is an engineering school. They got a very good
What's a rambling tech? Just
Rambling
a rambling
wreck.
angry?
Rambling
Rambling
wreck.
wreck? What? Like a wrecking ball?
They have a car, an old car they drive around, but I don't know if that's it.
Okay, this is a car.
Maryland.
This is Bulldogs.
I don't know these two. Cincinnati. I don't know what Cincinnati. They're the smallest because is it Cincinnati Tigers? I'm not sure. And that's okay. So that's Arizona Wildcats. Arizona State is Sun Devils.
Oh, okay, weird.
North Carolina Tar Heels because of cigarettes.
Tar Heels?
Tobacco.
But what's their mascot? What is he wearing?
It looks like a ram. Looks like a ram.
Okay.
Virginia Cavaliers.
Cavaliers,
yeah. Kansas Jayhawks.
All right,
the Jayhawkers. The Missouri Tigers are just typical Tigers. Stanford is a tree. They have a guy in a suit in a tree that stands on the side. I'm not kidding you.
It's not even like
it used to be something else. It used to be called the Cardinals. But they are still the Stanford Cardinals, but they have a tree. They are still the same. And the Cal, that's Berkeley. That's the biggest liberal school on the planet, but they're the Golden Bears.
Okay.
So that's. I'm gonna go with heated, not.
Well, what's Oregon's?
Oregon's the Ducks.
Okay, and then this is the Beavers.
Mm-hmm.
So heated, because it's like really against each other.
From what I understood, I was up. They don't like each other, so I'm gonna give them the. It could be when both are good, but I do think they don't like each other.
Like it goes deeper.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, USC and UCLA. They're both.
Okay, what is USC's mascot? This one.
Trojan.
Okay.
Like a rubber.
They're real ready.
Yep. USC and the UCLA calls them to call. If you're USC, you generally don't say USC. You gotta be hipper. They
I'm
call
sorry,
it
what?
HIPAA, like hip, SoCal for Southern Cal.
Okay.
So they're called Southern Cals. USC, but they call themselves Southern Cal. Southern Cal is going to play USC. They usually lots of won't say USC.
What is this
Southern
called?
Cal? That is University of California at Los Angeles. So they're in the same town. USC.
What is their mascot?
For who? USC.
This one right here.
USC is the I can't not know one. Bruins.
What's this? A Bruin?
I don't know. I don't live out there.
They brew ale?
No. They're both in Los Angeles. Actually, UCLA's
Good old LA.
UCLA is in Burbank. They're in a very nice the Rose Bowl. Their home stadium is the Rose Bowl.
Okay.
They don't come close to filling it.
Oh.
But they don't have it on campus, so they use the Rose Bowl. So they're in a very nice. Like when you watch the Tonight Show, the rich people, yes. And USC is in the hood. But they're called University of Southern California. So UCLA calls them the University of Spoiled Children. UCLA is thought of as a better team. They are. I mean, I live out here. If you ask me who's better, USC has been much better for a longer time. I'm going to say when both are good because they call it a big rivalry, but it's kind of boring to watch them. In the old days, it was okay. It's not nowhere like the other states when they're up there.
Right.
It's not really a great rivalry. Matter of fact, put an occasional upset. They bore me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
USC plays. I mean, they're just boring to watch.
No passion.
They don't like each other. Okay, when you see these other ones play, you know they hate each other. You watch Georgia, Auburn, Florida State, Miami, Tennessee, Alabama. Those are here. Michigan State. You're going to see some hatred, some chippiness, some laying the lumber. These guys are like California pansies.
So
The style of I don't like you is like down here.
all right. So what's this?
That's Washington and Washington State.
All right. What is Washington's mascot?
The Huskies.
All right. That's cute. What's this one?
Cute.
I thought
It's
it was
a
a husky
dog.
dog. Yeah, huskies
They're
are
big.
They're adorable. Dude, Absilian has a
they'll
husky.
bite your throat out.
Absilian has a husky.
they're
She's
cool dogs.
adorable.
And Washington State is the Cougars. I'm going to go.
I know what that is.
Yeah, I'm going to go with heated. They don't like it.
Really? Is it that good?
From what
up
I
here?
understand, and I've watched it. See, a lot of times if I don't know the schools, I'll watch rivalries.
Yeah, you got to watch it to see.
And I can see body language.
Yeah.
See, the body language of USC and UCLA are like, hey, when it's done, can we go drink wine? The other ones are like, when we're done, can I hit you in the face with an axe? And when they lose to them, it's devastating. And I've watched those two teams play. I don't think it's on the par with Oregon and Oregon State when I watch them play, but I still think it's heated. I think I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt it's heated. It could just be when both are good, but I have watched it, and I do think it's...
You've seen that feel.
Yeah, not to the extent of the others. But
You've got that vibe.
Yeah, I think it's a good vibe. And Washington, if you ask me who's the best, like, again, that's the state school, the little brother, and they got the bigger stadium and the little brother attitude. But if you ask me Washington's been a big program.
Yeah.
For a lot of times. Mark Brunell, the Jags' first quarterback, was from Washington.
All right, what's
In
next?
fact, Florida played Washington in 89 when we fired our coach Emmitt Smith's last game as a Gator. He played like a couple plays and didn't play anymore because he knew he was going to the pros, and we got beat by him.
Oh.
Right before Spurrier came.
All right, what's this? Army and the Navy.
Army and Navy, you can't put those in terms of hating each other because you talked about respect. That's true respect.
Okay, but they have the rival.
It's a rival.
That's okay.
But it's
you
not
can have
the hatred.
Yeah, but the hatred can be replaced by massive respect. But every time I see you, and every time I see you, we're going at it.
But
heated doesn't have to mean hatred.
Here where we're going to go with it. I'm going to go.
You get the place.
I'm going to take a shot for this, but I'm going average. It's not
really?
to me. It's not. It's because they're both the military guys, which I have huge respect for. But in football, there's really no good players in either one of them. Because when you go there, you're in the military. When you get out, you're not going to the pros. You're going to do your time, whether it's 4 years, you'll be an officer. So the best players in the country are going to go to every other school because they want to go to the NFL. So people will watch it because it's Army Navy, and they don't like each other in terms of they both want to win. They brag. There's a lot of bragging, but to me, the games are boring. They're just not good.
All right, well. Divismo. Can you do Kansas State University of Kansas? I think that's on here. Hold on. Do you see it? We can do it
What?
now.
Who do you ask for?
Kansas State University, University of Kansas.
Right there.
Which one? Point to it.
Kansas State.
This one. Wait,
No,
point,
no, no.
point closer.
Kansas,
This one. Okay, wait,
Kansas
we're moving
State.
it up. We're moving
Okay.
it up. Just for you, Divismo.
Okay, well,
All right,
Kansas.
here we go. Kansas.
I don't know who he likes, so I'm going to give you my.
Oh yeah, we don't know. Don't say it, Divismo. Don't tell him. Make him be honest.
If
Okay,
you ask
hold
me-
on. Which one's which?
Well, Kansas State is the purple.
This one. Okay.
And
What's their
they
mascot again?
are-
It looks like a cat.
I watched many of their
Cool.
football. Now, I watched a lot of their football. Matter of fact, I watched them last week. They got a running back who's like, he's like 5'3", but he's badass.
That's awesome.
He's really good. No, he's got moves. He's got balance and moves.
What
hold
are
on.
they?
Well, Kansas is the Jayhawks.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I know it's Kansas State. Are they Wildcats? I want to say. Well, he'll tell me.
Divismo, Wildcats.
But
Wildcats.
did you say Wildcats?
Wildcats right there.
Okay. Kansas State is much better than Kansas.
Which one is Kansas?
Kansas is the Jayhawks. Looks like a Jayhawk.
So Kansas is better than Kansas State.
No.
No, Kansas State is better than Kansas.
Kansas State is heads and tails better. So
Well, what about their vibe?
So right,
What about?
I don't pick. See, I don't watch it that much because Kansas is terrible.
It's so
Kansas State just.
Divismo, don't be a Kansas fan.
I'm
Don't
gonna
do
have to say occasional upset because I don't see Kansas. Now Kansas the last 2 years has been pretty good, but they're a basketball school. Kansas State. Now they'll both be good this year. So you know what? I'll check that game out this year.
Divismo,
I usually don't because Kansas is just not good in football. They're basketball power.
No.
They're
Divismo,
basketball power.
You are allowed because this is your suggestion. You probably know more. What do you think? Weigh in. What do you?
I'm going to
think?
occasional upset because Kansas State is just.
Is there any reason we should consider more? Is there something we don't know?
And I don't know how much they hate each other, but one's just so much more dominant. I don't even know if Kansas for the longest time took football seriously. They didn't care. They won a couple of years. Yeah, they're basketball national champions.
How
Not
much?
last year, but they've won.
How much?
They probably got. I'd say.
Florida won too.
Yeah, no. Kansas is in basketball is a blue blood.
Oh,
Like
they've been there
Duke.
forever. Kansas State.
Kentucky.
He says Kansas State. He likes Kansas
Yeah,
State.
Kansas State's way better. Now this year, Kansas is pretty good. So if they play,
So we'll do occasional upset. That way, just in case, hey, there could be something here. All right, so there's your answer to Vismo from the mouth
Kansas hopes to beat
Kansas State.
Kansas State. Kansas State knows they'll beat Kansas. It's a mindset.
What about this? What are these two teams? First, say them out loud.
Well, that's Oklahoma.
What is
You know
their
what
mascot?
the Sooners. You should know the answer why.
No, I
You
don't.
should.
The Sooners?
What's a Sooner?
I have no idea.
Oh no, it's in the history books.
I'm terrible at history.
It's
What
in
do
the
you want?
cowboy days.
I have no idea.
You know what a homesteader is?
Someone who stayed at the home and took care of it.
No, back in the day when they were building the railroad out west, everybody lived on the East Coast. But as the country grew and they were going, go west, young man. Remember in
Yep, go
St.
west,
Louis,
yep.
they built the gateway to the
Okay.
west. In order to get that land to grow, population, they would say, look, if you take your family and go out west, we'll give you 100,000 acre. You can have it. Just farm it. It's yours. They were called homesteaders. So when they went across the prairies, they took the little schooner, they were called Sooners. The Sooner schooners, they would get on the horse and buggy, and these families would go out and look, you're talking a long time ago when there was.
Oh, yeah,
Indians
Oregon
out
Trail. I know,
there.
Oregon Trail, baby.
You're talking.
Death.
Yeah.
You broke your leg. Well, you're dead.
I've been down in like.
Well, I'm talking about the same
Oklahoma.
idea. Of
Yeah.
like, you broke your leg, you're dead.
So yeah, a Sooner
That
was
is syphilis.
somebody who showed up, laid claim by the government, gave it to them in order to help the
Jumpstart,
country
yeah.
grow. So they're called.
Oh, it was a handout. Oh, that's interesting, Dad.
Well,
What do you feel about that?
No, it wasn't a handout. That was an investment for the
I
country.
guess they earned it by risking their lives.
Yeah, they did. And they also.
That's true. I take it back. I'm
But
sorry.
it was
sorry.
an investment for the country.
Yeah, but that's still
to
a
help
handout.
it grow.
That's still
No,
the
it's benefiting the country more than them.
That's the great deal. Is
Most
to
of
benefit
them
the
died. A lot
country.
of
The great
them died.
deal was to benefit the country, and you hate that.
No. That was to pay people off. That's
Oh,
bullcrap. That's
all right.
nowhere to say.
All right. We're not. This isn't political.
Okay, so Oklahoma.
Okay, sorry.
State-
Divismo said University of Kansas hasn't won a game against Kansas State since 2008.
Oh, I believe that.
Oh God!
It could be this year. They're both playing well.
All right, we'll see. All right, so they are the Sooners,
They're the
and what's
Sooners.
this other one?
Oklahoma State.
What are they?
They are the Cowboys.
Okay. So tell me about the Rivalries.
No, I can only go by. I've watched a little bit. They don't like each other. A guy at work is an Oklahoma fan, but he's got more respect for Oklahoma State than I have for Florida State. He's like, I don't mind if they win. That ain't over here. That's a red flag. So I'm going to go with average. I don't think it's a great rivalry. If my friend hears me say that, he'll say it is. I'm like, dude, I don't see the spitting. I don't see the hitting. I don't see the.
We do not.
They don't like
physical
each other.
conflict, everyone.
They don't like each other.
This. It is a bad thing. Do not allow this to control your mind. Do not allow your teams.
But I'll tell you, on my scale, how I would know if both these teams weren't good, I wouldn't watch it. Now, some of these other ones.
That's why we have occasional upset and when both are good because
that's meaning, if they're good, you know.
These are. It doesn't matter if they're good or for
Oregon State, Oregon, I would probably still watch it.
Yeah.
Michigan State, I would still. So that's what I'm talking about.
Florida State, you
would watch it.
All right, so.
And that's called the backyard.
Okay, here. Pittsburgh what?
Pitt Panthers, Pittsburgh. University of Pittsburgh,
and
Pitt Panthers, West Virginia Mountaineers.
All right, so tell me about it.
They don't like each other. It's called
the
backyard brawl.
Backyard brawl.
They
so
don't
like two kids getting into it.
Yeah, they don't like each other. Now, it's still ACC football. I find it kind of boring. I'll turn it on. If it's on, it's good sometimes. But I'll have to give them credit because it's.
So when both are good? Is it heated?
Yeah, it's heated.
It's that high?
Yeah, they don't like each other.
Tell me some examples.
4-4.
Put it behind.
I could just say when I see them play, there's
any fights?
Oh, yeah, there's pushing, shoving. And it's not just the fights.
It's like
I tackle you,
it's like
I tackle through you. It's like everybody's giving it everything.
When I go for the pick, I charge for it and get in your way.
Yeah.
All right, what's this? VT?
Virginia Tech.
What are they again?
I'm
not actually trying to quit you. I just don't
know. No, I know. Hokies. It's a bird, I guess.
Okay.
And Virginia Cavaliers. Right. Now, Virginia, I remember I told you Missouri has no business being in the SEC. They don't.
Help me.
Missouri Tigers. I got them right there.
This right here. Okay,
they're in the SEC.
Right here.
Should have never got it. SEC expanded. They only took them for one reason. They're like way out there. They have no business being. They're in the middle of the country.
Why did they take them?
They thought because of St. Louis, the television market. The problem is St. Louis is not a big football town. They had the St. Louis Rams for the longest time when they moved. And everybody only went to see them when they were good. It's not. It's a baseball town.
Baseball.
They love it.
So boring.
St. Louis Cardinals. So I always said, I'd say it right now, if I could do this, I would take Virginia Tech now as an SEC school. Not even because they're great all the time, because they're not. But their fan base is like an SEC fan base. They're loud. They're blue collar. They'll hit you in the face.
Blue collar.
Blue collar. Well, white collar, blue collar. Blue collar people, working man, gets down there and we work with. We're blue collar. We're white collar, sit at the desk and push a pencil.
You are white collar.
No, I'm not. I'm blue collar. I don't have a desk job.
Oh, because working with the wires is so hard.
That's not.
He pushes the button to make sure that my dad works with
electronics.
No, tell specifically.
But it's
on infrared system. So he had to make sure
white collar is a manager. Sit behind a desk. They're on the phone. They push papers all day. That's called white collar. That's manager.
You used to do that.
I did not.
When you were working on the bank.
I was in IT. I was working.
You're still on the computer just messing with stuff.
No, I'm making images. I'm working on servers.
They're working on paperwork. You know how much
it's a totally different mindset. No,
whatever,
crazy.
Whatever.
I honestly don't know how much they hate each other because I don't really watch it that much.
Just put on average.
Yeah.
Just to make sure.
Yeah. I mean, I take Virginia Tech and the SEC right freaking now. Then you would have great rivalries. Because they play like an SEC.
What is this? The Cy-Hawk Trophy? Who is playing this?
Well, the one on the left looks like Auburn. But I can't see. That's who?
I don't know. You're the one
who
knows.
You have to make it small. I'd have to see the.
I can't. I can't make it.
Just keep going down to what it is. Just keep going down to the right height. I have no idea what it is. All right, we'll just shrink it. Go back to our normal size.
Oh, normal size. Okay. I was like, I don't know what you want from me. I can't.
Okay. I have no idea who they are. Oh, wait. Holy crap. Holy mackerel. What was I looking at? That's the Iron Bowl. What did you call it?
It's a Cy-Hawk. It's a Cy-Hawk.
I was looking at that, too. I didn't notice, and I saw the Auburn. This is one big image.
No,
That's
it's not.
the-
It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not.
Oh,
it's not.
okay, okay.
This
that
is the
is-
Iron Bowl.
Okay, I was confused. I don't know what that is.
This is.
I have no idea.
I'm gonna look it up. Hold on.
Okay, I was about to say I didn't think that was.
No, it's not the same image. No.
Okay,
Hold on. I'm looking it up. We need to know this. Cy-Hawk.
I don't have a clue.
Football. Iowa State.
Oh, okay. Hawks are Iowa Hawkeyes,
Okay,
the
this
main
one right
school
here.
for the state, and Cy's the Cyclones. Iowa State's called the Cyclones.
Okay, well, how come you didn't recognize it?
I've never seen it written like that. I didn't.
Okay.
I just didn't.
So-
I didn't know this Iowa Hawkeye. Well, Iowa is a generally said, hey, who's better? Iowa's always better. Although their offense is the worst. This year, I mean, might be even worse than Coach Dumbass's offense.
That's Coach Muschamp.
Muschamp with Florida, but we couldn't score if you took your team. They're really terrible. I've heard they don't like each other. I've never really watched it. The offenses is just for both teams kind of bore me, so I'm gonna go average for
The
me.
standard.
Somebody in Iowa would see this and get mad, but I don't know anything about the rivalry. If it came on and said Iowa State, I would look for another game.
Oh,
If I can find one, I'd go back and watch it. But
All right, Holy War. What is
that's Utah against BYU. So Utah is the Utes. We just played them the first game.
What is the use?
Utes? They're Utes. I don't know. Is that an Indian? Because they have a feather. Was there an Indian
I'm
out
sure there was
in
something.
Utah called the Utes?
I'm sure. What's the why?
BYU, Brigham Young University, Mormons, Brigham Young.
What's their mascot? A butter churner?
I really don't know there. I call them BYU. Everybody knows them as BYU. Brigham. I mean,
Are they
what the
Mormon
hell is-
school?
Yes, Brigham Young.
Oh, I wasn't thinking Mormon. I was thinking Amish. Sorry.
No, yeah.
What-
I honestly don't look at. I'm very curious. What is BYU's?
okay, that's fine, but what?
I don't watch it. I don't care.
I mean, is it
They probably don't like each other, so I'm just gonna go.
BYU
Average. No, you just a nickname.
BYU Cougar football.
Oh, the Cougars. Yes.
Yeah,
How
Cougar,
did I not
right?
know? Oh, come on now. We're talking.
Okay, all right. I didn't know it was next. All right, here we go.
We hate each other. We go on runs.
Dadalus.
For instance, when I was a kid growing up through the 70s, Georgia would always come in and somehow beat us all the time. The 80s, they kind of beat us more than we beat them. We would beat them once, they would beat us twice. We'd beat them once, they beat us three times. We'd beat them once, they beat us once. We beat them once, they beat us twice. And then in 1990, when we got Spurrier, kept our players from the state of Florida home, we beat them like a freaking redheaded stepchild. It was brutal. Brutal for like 12 years. They beat us one time. Well, Spurrier was there for 12 years. Georgia beat him once. Then Coach Dumbass. No, after Spurrier was
Mac and cheese.
the Zucker.
Zucker.
Even the Zucker beat him 3 out of 4 times or 2 out of 3 times. And then Urban Meyer came and just took him back behind the shed again and stuck a machete down their throat, swirled it. They beat him once.
They actually won against Urban once?
They beat him once. They scored a touchdown, and
Tell us about
the
that
whole
day.
team ran on the field. They opening score. I think it was after Georgia goes down and scores.
What year? What year?
This would have been 2007.
It's Meyer. It's later.
2007. Meyer was only there 5 years, but he won 2 national titles. So Georgia scored their first drive, and the whole team ran on the field. While they're getting ready to kick us, they threw a flag. Like, what? There could have been a massive brawl. I mean, it was embarrassing for the state of Georgia. Well, my problem was we should have ended up just sticking it down their face and whooping their ass for that, but we didn't. They beat us. But Urban Meyer never forgot it. So the next year, you're talking about running the score up. He called a timeout with seconds left to kick a field goal, even though we were beating them by like 30. Just to put another one on the board. That's how much he hated him.
Okay.
And then we went to Coach Dumbass after Urban left. I think Dumbass beat them.
Muschamp.
Yeah, I still think he beat them more than he lost to them. And then Mac and Cheese came. Mac and Cheese still beat them more than they beat us. Sometime in Georgia did win 3 in a row. Was that against Coach Dumbass? I think so. Then Mac and Cheese, I think they split. And then Dan Mullen came in and beat Georgia. So Georgia's on a run against us right now. They've beaten us 4 out of the last 5.
But Georgia's also very strong right now.
Right now they are. So that's heated. We hate each other.
It's not legendary?
Oh, no, it's legendary. You bet your ass it's
okay.
legendary. It's one of the best in all the country.
Is that bias talk?
No, that's why it's 3:30 every single year, no matter the record.
Now, Dadalus, let me ask you.
What they do is they play that game here. Did you ever tell them what city we live in, or we don't do that?
We don't do city.
Okay, well, they play in Jacksonville, and they split the state.
Wow,
they don't.
Way to veil that.
I didn't say we live in Jacksonville. I said that it's close to us.
Okay.
But instead of playing in Gainesville or at Georgia, it's like Oklahoma, Tennessee. They played a neutral site.
Neutral site.
So in Jacksonville, they split the stadium 50-50. So it's 50% Gators on
this side. But it's still in Florida.
Yes. Georgia had no problem coming down and playing us when they were beating us in the 70s and 80s. But now we whooped their ass. They want to take it back home and home. But it used to be the stadium was in sections of quarters. Quarter. Of course, it'll be Florida, Georgia, Florida.
Why don't they do that
anymore? Too many fights. It got real bad. So they said no.
So, Dadalus, now that we've gotten to this, I was saving this question. Give us an example of your own fight that has started because of a rivalry.
Too many for Florida. Going down to the stadium, too many.
No, one that you were a part of.
Too many down in Georgia.
Dadalus.
I never heated words. But I will tell you this. I want to say 1982, something like that.
Before I was born.
Yeah, so my dad, we all went down there, a bunch of us friends, and it was the old Gator Bowl was a metal stadium, like in Birmingham.
This is the Florida Georgia game.
Florida Georgia. So the stadium in Jacksonville was old. Before the Jags came, they built obviously a brick stadium. It was an old metal bowl, like in Birmingham, Alabama. And they had a fence like 5 feet high around it, and it was quarters. That's still high for it. Maybe it's 6 foot. It's right. Okay, maybe 6 foot. And so we hated them. And so after the game, they come back and beat us like they always did. And we're walking down and we're yelling at some Georgia people, and they're yelling at us. And so
how old were you?
I was probably 16, 17.
Okay.
And so my brother-in-law hauled off and punched this dude. And then,
oh, shoot. So he's a big dude, too.
My brother grabbed somebody.
That's technically your brother?
Yeah, he was. They were married. The adult, you never met him.
I was thinking about the little one.
He wasn't born. So then there was pushing in the fence, so the cop came and grabbed my brother around the throat.
Brother-in-law?
No, my brother.
Oh!
Around the throat.
Epsilion's dad?
Yes.
Epsilion's dad, everyone.
Who's Epsilon?
No, the other brother.
Yes.
Okay, your older brother?
Yeah.
His oldest brother is who we're talking about, not Epsilion's dad. He's meek. He doesn't usually do anything.
Well, no, the brother-in-law punched the guy, but then he got into it with, now we all kind of.
I'm surprised oldest brother got involved.
Yeah,
he's usually in his own little world.
The cop grabs him.
He's big, too. He's big.
And his neck is on so he can't. So my dad grabs the cop's arm, rips him, and I'm like, we gotta go. He just grabbed the cops, and we go.
And by that point, Dadalus was used to running away from authority.
We took off.
Your instincts of running away from
the cops were on the other side of the fence. So they would have had to come, because we could have got arrested, because they had a walkway around the fence in the old stadium. God. And it was the old stadium, and it was a lot. And back in those days, there was a lot of drinking at that game, a lot more than today. But so yes, that was my.
Have you ever gotten one?
I've gotten one. What?
A fight because of.
In the '90s, we were beating them so bad that I would rag it in, and they would call me names. I'd tell them where to stick it. I had one girl chase the car, stick her head in the car,
your car.
Yeah, and so I rolled the window up on her.
What year was that? How old was I?
You were born. This was in the '90s. We all went down there, and it was.
I was there when the lady.
No, we didn't take it.
Good.
Me and both my brothers and some others were down there, and at the game,
Poor mom was with us.
We're letting them know how bad we just beat them, and she's calling me names, and I told her what I think about her. her boyfriend. I said, look at him. He's sitting there. He won't even take up for you. What a wuss.
That's not right.
And so it was starting to drizzle. So now we're all parked in the same spot. We're going down the road. We're yelling back at them. She gets out of her car and runs up and sticks her head trying to grab stuff out of the car. So I'm like, she's like, and I'm like, what? So yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So what's the next one?
All right. Well, there we go. Legendary there.
Oh, absolutely legendary. That's Minnesota and Iowa.
What's Minnesota's?
Are they the Golden Gophers? Minnesota Gophers?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, well, I tell you about it. You have to look it up. And obviously, that's Iowa, the Hawkeyes. I didn't know that's a rivalry. I mean, they play each other. Looks like for a pig trophy. I'm going to go with question mark. I wouldn't sit and watch the
Minnesota mascot. Gophers, yeah. Gophers. Good old Golden Gopher. Man, their mascot looks derpy.
Yeah. So they're playing for this trophy. Give me a break. Florida State, Clemson is a good game.
What's Clemson?
The Tigers. And the Florida State's the Seminoles.
I'm surprised you called them what they were.
The Seminoles? Half FSU.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
The women are the women. And
here we go.
The girls' school on the hill.
All right.
I don't really call it. It's a good game, but it's not really a rival.
Just average, it's fine.
See, Florida LSU before the hurricane, before they really started hating each other, was just a great game. It wasn't a rival. We play every year. They play every year, but I don't look at it as a rival. It's a great game.
So just average then?
I'd go average. I mean, to me, it's not a rival. And Clemson's been wearing them out before that. Florida State wore them out, but I've never looked at it as a rival.
VT, I don't know what the other one is, but
That's Virginia Tech.
Black Diamond Trophy? Is there a Black Diamond?
There must be a Black Diamond.
I wonder if they're on. Let me see it. Maybe you'll go, aha! Football Black Diamond. Black Diamond Conference. It is the West Division, consisting of the original 5 members of Cartersville.
What 2 football teams play in the backyard brawl? I think I got that wrong.
According to Wikipedia, the backyard brawl is an American college football rivalry between the University of Pittsburgh Panthers and the West Virginia University
Mountaineers. Okay, so I did get that right.
Okay, so who is it?
That's Virginia Tech, and I don't know what the Black Diamond Trophy is.
Let's just put in rivals and move on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
All right. The Texas Longhorns.
Texas A&M. Well, you know
Texas A&M. What's Texas A&M?
The Aggies.
Oh, wait. Excuse me?
Aggies. I don't know what Aggie is, but they're the Aggies.
Okay. Tell me about the rivalry.
Well, they don't play anymore.
What?
It's ridiculous because they were both a long time ago in the Southwest Conference, which went away. Then they called it the Big 12, which is them and Oklahoma and all that. And then 10 years ago, Texas A&M moved.
This one.
They played each other every year in the same conference.
Oh, the Aggies are.
And Texas A&M came to the SEC, much better football conference. And so they said, oh, well, we can't play each other because we have our conference games. And everybody in the rest of the country said, that's stupid. You don't have to be in the same – Florida State are not in the same conference.
That's not the same
Georgia Tech. Virginia Tech, South Carolina, Clemson. You don't have to be in the – some of your best rivals
Why did they stop?
Nobody – everybody's like, you get 8 conference games and 4 non-conference. So Florida, every year plays Florida State. They're not in a conference. We get 3.
That's the rivalry.
It's been about, I don't know, 10 years since they played. It was I used to watch it all the time.
Then.
Yeah, I'm not going to give it to them. They quit. Now, Texas and Oklahoma are coming to the SEC in 2 years, so that will be back on.
Okay.
But it was a good game. I used to watch it. And it was, I'm not going to give it to them because they quit. Well, by lucky, because Texas A&M would have worn them out for 10 years. Texas has been terrible for 10 years, just like Florida. We both fell in the toilet. And they're getting better like we are. But it would have gone up high.
What's this? A red and it's the Iron Bowl. It's Iron Bowl.
Is that? Well, one of them looks like TCU in purple.
One of them's a horse.
Then TCU. TCU is the Horned Frogs, and the horse is SMU, Southern Miss University, and they're terrible. I'm not going to give that as a rival. TCU would beat them into oblivion. SMU is...
Is that the blue one?
No, SMU is a horse. And they are legendary. In fact, they were one of the first teams to go on the death penalty in college football. They cheated so bad that in 1983, the death penalties, when the NCAA said you get no scholarships. And they just went, and have never recovered. No.
All right, Iron Bowl. What is this?
That's Alabama.
Yeah, Alabama, of course.
Crimson Tide and Auburn Tigers. It's average.
I thought Alabama and Auburn was huge with the rivalry.
Yes.
Okay, I was about to say, like, have I been taught wrong?
Legendary. It's one of the top 2 or 3. And some people call it.
So tell me about it.
Why do you think they call it the Iron Bowl? Because they knock the living crap out of each other.
Why don't they like each other?
Alabama is the University of Alabama, and Auburn's not. Auburn has a huge fan base, but not as big as Alabama. And Alabama, the last 12 years since Saban's got there, has won all those 7 national titles. Auburn, they won 1. They beat Alabama. I'm telling you, they came. Those games, they beat. Then Auburn beat Alabama. I mean, sometimes Auburn sucks and still beats Alabama. No, Alabama beat them, but had to come from behind and win at the last second of the game. I mean, this is
how was the stadium?
They go back and forth to each.
No. How was the stadium when they did that? The fans.
It's legendary. What
happens?
They don't go down and tear the field up, but it's what was it? 2013 when Alabama ran out of bounds, and Nick Saban argued there's 1 second left on the clock. There's 1 second left on the clock, which will give me time to kick a long field goal to win. So they looked at it and said, okay, there's 1 second left. So you lined up to kick a very long field goal. And Auburn, remember, you got to understand, when you kick a field goal, if it goes in the field of play, it's a free ball.
Yep.
You understand that. It's not a punt.
Yep. As long as it gets blocked, as long as it's in the field, you're good.
So Auburn sends a guy all the way back to the goalpost. Says, okay. Kicks it. It's short. The guy at Auburn catches it. That's that famous, you see it all over. He runs down the sideline, 0 seconds on the clock, and scores, beats Alabama, and goes on for the national title game.
Tell me about the fans and tell me about...
It did come down on the field. It was at Auburn, emptied down, because it was the craziest play, and it's called the kick six.
Were there some...
Oh, yeah, because Alabama, if they win, they're going to the national title. Auburn went to the national title and lost to Florida State. That's legendary.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I got to give it to them. It's they call it the Iron Bowl because it's freaking physical, and they hate each other.
Do you watch it?
Oh yeah, they hate each other. They hate each other.
I should be laughing at this.
It's a great game.
All right, the leopard looking under the puma thing.
That's Penn State.
Okay.
Pennsylvania State University.
Pittsburgh.
That's Pitt University. So it's the same state.
Tell me about it.
It ain't a rival. Penn State would beat them to oblivion.
Is there any energy?
I don't live up there. If I see it come on, I'm not going to watch it.
Should we put them in average?
I don't.
Or just right.
I'm just going with the average.
Okay.
Up there, they may be saying they love it. I never hear about it. They don't make a big deal. I've watched. No.
All right. Michigan,
Notre Dame don't play anymore.
Who's Notre Dame?
Notre Dame is University of Notre Dame.
The
Fighting Irish.
Okay. They don't play anymore.
They were never in the same. Notre Dame's not in a conference. They kind of are.
Oh, that's why it's okay. In one of the other tier lists I picked, it said the 5 conference whatever and Notre Dame.
Yeah,
they're not in a conference
because they're the biggest.
How do they play? How does that work?
Because Notre Dame's the biggest. Well, look, they're the most known school in the whole country. Notre Dame. I always say Kid State couldn't find one; they don't care anymore. But in the old days, it's Notre Dame.
Old blood.
For up north, it was Notre Dame. For down south, it was Alabama. That's your true blue bloods. Yeah. Forever. They're great teams all over. No, it was Alabama owned everything in the South. And, I mean, you want to talk about just rich history of football, it's Alabama and Notre Dame. Okay. I got to give it to them. But nowadays, kids don't give a damn about playing in Notre Dame. But they used to play each other. Michigan's in the Big Ten. Notre Dame is a Big Ten.
How do they play? Are they in the Big Ten? No, but they're the only independent team, period. Yeah, how does that work?
There's still a couple others. Well, because they're Notre Dame.
Do they just play a bunch of...
Well, right now, they're kind of in a conference. It's weird. They're in the ACC, which they should be in the Big Ten, but only in football, not basketball. But when you're in a conference, that's your conference.
Yeah, it's a conference for everything.
So they're only in the ACC.
What are they in basketball and everything?
Independent. And they still play. They only play so many ACC. It's silly. That used to be a very good game. I would say when both were good. Well, I don't know if they were heated. They were just two big-time schools that everybody watched that game, but I never really – I'd say if they're both good. I'm just not a big fan.
When both are good?
Yeah. Okay. People up north can be saying, you're crazy. It's a huge game.
All right.
Florida, Tennessee. Well, we've beaten Tennessee so bad for so long. It's really
except for that one year that I was there and Tennessee won, and good old Uncle. So we were at the game. That's that one, right?
No, that was Kentucky.
Oh, sorry, right. Never mind. I'll wait for that for Kentucky. Is Kentucky on here?
No, they're not a rival. They've won two.
They kind of are a rival now.
Rivalries have to have a long history.
You can be a new rival, though.
But you got to let it play for 10, 15 years.
All
it's okay. You've been traded.
So tell me about this one.
In the 90s, Florida Tennessee was a huge rivalry. We hated them. It was heated. They were very good.
Any stories?
There's all kinds of stories. But
any you like to share?
Now we've just been beating them so bad. They beat us this year, finally, first time.
I remember that. I remember you hearing about that.
The last time they beat us before this year was
that's right. You said, oh, good job.
2017. And then before that was all the way back to like 2008. It used to be a great rivalry but Tennessee's been horrible for so long. So right now I'm just going to give it
occasional upset.
Yeah, I mean Florida beats them every year. It's a great game, but it's no good. They don't even play at 3:30 anymore. Florida beat them so bad. This year it was because Tennessee's good this year. I hope they get because I like good rivals.
Yeah,
so I hope they get good.
All right, so OU.
They don't play anymore.
Who is that?
Oklahoma and Nebraska. Nebraska is a cornerhouse because they used to be a powerhouse in the 70s and 80s. Florida played them for the national title in 2019, and they beat us into oblivion. It was our first national championship game, and they beat us.
They took it back. They took them back behind the woodshed.
Worse than that.
Oh God!
And here's my
chainsaw
point.
Man them.
Nebraska has never been the same since then. You want to know why?
Why?
I know there are guys stronger than other guys, right?
Yeah, it's always a bigger fish.
But I have never seen an offensive lineman pick up and throw another 300-pound defensive lineman around like that. They were throwing us around like we were made of
paper mache.
Paper mache. How is that possible?
Oh no!
They were juicy like nobody.
Oh my!
The NCAA went in there, and as years went by, they were, we got these corn-fed. They were corn-fed. That means crap. Man, they were juicy. Tom Osborne, the legendary coach, hit the freaking road. He got it. They haven't been worth a crap since 2000.
So they're going here.
And they're terrible. Yeah, they suck.
All right, hold on.
But they'll never be good again. You can't juice anymore.
It's like the horse team. Well, now that they've sunk, they're screwed.
Yeah, they're terrible.
And when you cheat,
they just fired their coach.
Your sins will find you out.
Hey, and the reason I know that because they may be.
Was it never confirmed? You can confirm that stuff. It was
pretty easy. When you watch a 300-pound,
it's like the baseball players.
It's just like, and you're like, now I know you may be stronger, but if you watch that national championship game, it was like
adults and toddlers.
Yes, and people were like, wait a minute. If Florida was scoring points on, we were beating people to oblivion that year.
Did they discount the win then?
No, there's no proof. Look, this is
how is there no
theory.
How is there no proof? You can check that stuff.
Because they started doing, you got to pee in the bottle test more often, and all of a sudden Nebraska got a little worse and a little worse, and dude, they were jacking the steroids. All right,
here we go. Hold on. Devismo has a question.
Oh,
you asked it. Can your dad describe people from the Northeast versus people in the Southeast in general? You asked for this.
Can I describe it during football games or in general?
In general. The people from the Northeast, we're talking like New York, as opposed to the people in the Southeast. You asked for this.
The people in the Northeast are generally
try to be nice.
I want to use street words. They're ruder. I've been up there. Why? When I worked for a bank, we bought a bank up there. I had to go work on the servers. And the guy there in New Jersey, I was like, God, you guys talk. You're so
direct, blunt.
Direct and blunt. He goes, hey, man. You see all these people? I'm like, yeah. He goes, if you don't, you're going to get left. You can't be nice up here. They don't. So then the other guy, who was also from up there, we called him the The grunt. What was the guy on Sesame Street that was grumpy?
Grouch. The Grouch.
We called him. If you eyeballed him and you like it, just meet him. Hey, how you doing? And when you come down to North Carolina, when we go up and meet, he's like, man, you Southern people bother me. I'm like, what? He goes, man, all this, hey, how you doing? And he goes, they look at me and say hi. He goes, I don't like that. And he's serious. Why? He goes, because look, up north, when they eyeball you, they're going to shake you down. So they're more direct. They're more liberal. So sorry, I can't handle that. Down south, look, we take things slow. We're passionate about our sports and stuff, but we're very family-oriented and everything. We're very conservative. We're not going to put up with
Florida's not really south. I mean, okay, yes,
Well,
we're south. We're the most
Asian
south state-wise, but we're not like southern.
Look, you leave the 3-4 big cities, and you get out into the state. Who does more cattle, Florida or Oklahoma?
Oklahoma, right? Florida?
Used to. One of the biggest cow states there is.
So we are kind of country.
When you get outside,
we're not really.
You get outside Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, down south, the whole Miami, St. Peter's, very country people.
Oh.
People don't think of. We do have a lot of Yankees moving down here. It's just a different lifestyle.
Does that answer your question, DeVismo? He was very nice on that.
Yes.
I appreciate that because I've heard you say other things.
Michigan State. Some people say.
No, hold on. This
I'm sorry. Ohio State, Michigan.
Who's Ohio State?
Buckeyes.
Buckeyes. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a pretty big rivalry, right?
Oh hell yeah! They say that's better than Alabama, Auburn, which I say bullshit.
Is it up there in legendary?
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Absolutely. Everybody in the country thinks it's the greatest. They'll say on the television, "Best rivalry in all college football." Bull crap. No, they say that up north because, like I said, there's Yankees. They like to swing and think they're the greatest up there. And it's a good rivalry. It's a great. They hate each other. They hate each other. They hate each other. Despise each other. Trust me. It's a great rivalry. But if I had a chance, I got one game to watch. It's going to be Oklahoma, Michigan, Alabama, Auburn. Not even close.
Alabama, Auburn.
Oh yeah.
Because the SEC, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, go. There's the fact. There's the bias.
It's better football.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's better football.
Okay.
That's just all there is to it.
The Palmetto Bowl, the Clemson Tigers, and the USC Gamecocks.
USC is the Gamecocks. When people say USC, you think of Southern Cal.
Okay.
But they are University of South Carolina. The Palmettos, because they're the Palmetto State.
All right.
That's just good. Like, they don't...
Average?
Yeah, because neither one of them have ever been really... Well, obviously, Clemson's won some national titles. They're really good. Or they
Occasional upset, then?
They beat Alabama twice for the national title.
Occasional upset, then?
Yeah, but there's...
It's your call. I don't know what.
Well, it's better than average. So what's above
occasional
average?
Upset? If there's an occasional upset, it's good?
I just don't see it as huge.
Or when they're both good?
Well, when one's good, the other one's not. That team wins. But I'm just going to go with... I'm going to go when they're both good. So they're higher than Florida, Tennessee. Well, Florida, Tennessee, because we've just beat them so long. If they get good again, that rivalry...
Should that move up to when
Tennessee
they're both
hates
good?
us.
So should it be moved up to when they are both good?
No, because they only occasionally beat us.
All right.
And I don't look at it as a rival right now.
Okay. What about... So this one is higher. You put that one there. It's actually a rival. It's not cheated, but...
No, I think they... You know what?
Your call.
I'll leave it.
Okay. All right. Rocky Mountain Showdown. That's the... it's like a buffalo.
Oh, that's Colorado.
And the
Colorado
Ram...
State. Then give me a break. It's average.
Average or here?
No, average.
Okay, so it is here.
They're in the same state.
So it's not here.
I'll give them average because they're in the same state.
Wow, by default.
You know what? Take it back. I don't care if they're in the same state. They suck.
Oh my god.
Give me a break.
All right.
No. USF, UCF when they were both guys. USF, South.
I know who they are. I know who these are.
And then UCF is University of Central Florida. They think they won a national
school.
title in 2019 because they won a bowl game. No.
Okay.
I'm going average.
You're actually going to give it to them. All right. All right. So this is Michigan State, I believe.
Oh, it's Michigan State and Ole Miss. So
Ole Miss what?
State,
Ole Miss what?
Rebels.
Rebels. Okay.
And Mississippi State Bulldogs.
So is the Georgia? They both have
Just
Bulldogs?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So let me see the questions above.
We have facial upsets. Heated? Okay.
They hate each other with the passion. I always watch that game.
Ooh. It's not legendary.
Neither teams, no, not legendary, because they haven't both been good for long enough.
They don't have the legacy of it, but they have the passion.
For the last 10 years, the game's been good. We go back 30 years. Yeah. But, it's fantastic. Was it 2 years ago that?
Here we go.
But the one play they lost their game. When was they lost the game?
In 2019?
Was it? It was 2020. Just a couple years ago. So they're going back. They're chippy. There's pushing. There's fighting. I love it.
No, I shouldn't be laughing. Don't do this. It's bad things.
Ole Miss is at Mississippi State, so the kid scores a touchdown. Yeah, anytime. It's been a couple years. Well, he's in the end zone. He gets tackled, and he gets up on 2 feet and lifts his back leg like he's peeing, and he pees on the goalpost because they're Mississippi State Bulldogs. Ole Miss scores, so he's making fun of the Bulldogs. Flag comes out. Personal foul, so they had to go back to kick the field goal, and he missed it, so they lost the game. And the coach got fired. And there was a fight.
So how was the teams after that?
Oh, they're fighting. Oh, yeah, that's a great rivalry. You know what the nickname of that game is the Egg Bowl.
Why is it nicknamed?
I don't know.
Do you actually not know or do you not want to say it?
I know they call it the Egg Bowl, and I don't know why.
Okay. All right. This is the Fighting Irish and the...
That's USC, University of Southern California. Like Michigan used to play Notre Dame every year. Notre Dame also played USC every year. They don't play anymore. It's a screw up.
No. All right.
Oklahoma, Texas.
And?
That is going to go up to heated. It could be legendary. I don't live out there. I watch it every year. I don't know the running history of how legendary it is, how much they hate each other, and how the greatest of games. They're good games. If I lived out there and had a little more of their history, they probably deserve to be legendary. You know what? It's got to be legendary. They've had some insane games. It's got to be legendary. Just because it's legendary.
They hate each other that much.
And they've always been good. Those are the ones that it's Oklahoma and Texas, which is funny because all the players from Oklahoma come from Texas. There's no players in the state of Oklahoma. Even the guy at work is an Oklahoma fan, he'll tell you. Yeah.
So that's pretty high.
Yes, that's big time.
Here we are.
Move right
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's legendary.
Go ahead, Dad. Talk about it.
Florida State, absolute legendary, especially in the 90s. Hate each other. I don't care if both teams are... And we're both bad this year. Both teams are getting better, actually. Both teams are starting
to get better. Florida State's actually getting better. Yeah.
They are getting better. But, buddy, I'm going to tell you what. To me, that's even more than Alabama.
Let me show you how much. Let me give you an actual demonstration. Dad, if I got married and our child had a full run to Florida State, no pay, for ministry in the Lord's name, or they had to go and be a burger flipper. Do you mean that?
I mean it. You bet
your butt he does. If I brought a Florida State ornament to our tree, what would you do?
I'd smash it to a million pieces. I have an unhealthy hatred for them.
You do. He does. He actually does.
But
I'm going to admit it.
Alabama has that same hatred for. That's my point. Auburn for them. The great rivalries hate each other that much. Michigan, Ohio State. The legendary coach for Ohio State back in the 70s was Woody Hayes. His car broke down one time in the state of Michigan. He walked. He didn't want to stay anything to do. He's called a team up north. He would never call Michigan. He hated them so much. This is the coach. That's hatred, big. I hate them. I hope they lose everything.
They are. I've noticed this. Georgia and the other rivals, Georgia and
I have respect for those teams.
You will say, you know what? I actually will pull for them. They're SEC.
Yes,
I hate
Georgia, but if they play outside the SEC, I pull for them. Absolutely,
because they're like a
SEC family.
Let me ask you this: if Florida State was in the SEC, would you pull?
No.
I have seen this man. I don't care what
they
game it
join.
is.
They won't get in.
They won't. But I have seen this man in crazy situations where he really should be pulling the Florida State.
No.
And he has...
Here's how much I hate them. If we needed them to win to put me in the national title, I'll get it next year. I don't want them to win ever. ever.
Do you want them to be good so the rivalry means?
No, I don't give a damn. People say that, I hope they're undefeated when we play. I don't give a damn. I hope they're 0-10.
How is that legendary whenever you hope to beat them?
Because they're usually both good. So look at 90s.
They weren't good in the 2010s. They were trash there.
Florida State was good. We were bad.
What? No.
They won the national title in 2013.
I thought they were garbage.
No, they got 2011, maybe it was 2011. They got good to 2011 to 2015.
And then they were crap again. Yeah. I remember they got crap.
They were when Urban Meyer was there. We beat them badly. But in the 90s, look, I hate them. You know, I just proved them.
I know you did.
They were the best football teams in the 90s period. We had to play them every year, and that was brutal. They had insane players. I hope they lose. I hope they lose every game forever.
If that school could burn down with no one in it, admit it to arson, everyone.
Maybe with people in it.
Oh, stop. All right. There we go. That's a big one, everyone. All right. Not much left. BU, TCU.
BU is Baylor University.
What are they?
In Texas. Baylor Bears, I believe.
Okay.
And TCU Horned Frogs. Right, Texas Christian University.
Aww.
They're very good right now. They're undefeated.
Woo!
They beat Texas.
All right. What do you think?
What's the nickname for Baylor University?
Bears. Baylor Bears.
I don't know if it's a big. I don't know. You know, I'm sure they don't like each other. Is it up where the other guys are? It is a rivalry. Average, yeah.
Harvard and why?
That's Harvard and Yale. I don't care about them. Duke and North Carolina basketball is legendary.
Football? No. Where is it? Average?
Yes. I don't have a rivalry. Where have you dropped it?
Average rivalry?
That's fine. What you got? LSU, Texas A&M, they play each other. It's a good game. It's not a rival. So
just rivals? Like whatever?
I'm to go rivals. I didn't think it's a rivalry. It's just a game that you have to play in your conference. Very good game. I'll watch it. Now, remember, these could be good games. We're talking about
rivals.
No, even rivals. Louisville, Kentucky.
Last one.
That's University of Louisville, which is the state of Kentucky, and then University of Kentucky. Occasional upset. If they play each other, I'll watch it because it's a rivalry. It's nowhere heated like the rest of those.
Should it be lower to average, or is it actual occasional upset? It's like
as a rivalry goes, you know what? It's just average. They can say what they want. It's kind of a boring rivalry game.
All right, so here is our list. Let me zoom out just a little bit. A little bit more. All right, so we got our legendaries.
Because rivalries have a long history. Alabama LSU's just been good. You know what? Really, since 2010 when Alabama got Saban got great. LSU before that was just okay. The 90s LSU was average. That wasn't a big rivalry. It was a great game. Don't get me wrong. These are all good games.
So that's why it's in when both are
good. But it
wasn't
rivalry. But but a rivalry is more than just a good game.
But they've developed into rivals now. That's why they're only here because when both are good, they're now becoming. They could be here later.
But rivalries will last.
Well, we'll have to see if it does. We don't know.
Okay, Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Yes. Neither one of them been worth a damn for really ever. But they've always hated each other. I got it.
What I'm saying is these two might become it later. We don't know.
Okay. When Nick Saban leaves Alabama, they turn crap.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Maybe it won't be. It just be a game. It ain't going to be a rival. It's only a rival because those have been the two best teams in the SEC West.
But that's how it starts.
No, but then it turns into this family feud storyline. No, that's just a great game. I don't never consider that a big rivalry. No, it's fine because it's somewhat of a mini rivalry, but rivalries last. It doesn't. They're only hate each other because they both want to be top dog. Okay.
That's what you literally said is one of the criteria.
No, I said that's one. If Florida was in the bottom basement, Georgia was in the bottom basement, that game would be no less intense. The hatred would be the same. And they could both be bad for 20 freaking years, and they're going to hate it. If LSU and Alabama became average, it would be just another game I have to play.
So once again, when they're both good, right here.
Yeah, okay. Then
that is what they're.
Okay.
Because it kind of makes it into it.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so this is it. Do you like where everything is? Do you want anything moved?
Well, then Florida and Tennessee should be when they're both good.
Okay. I move that up. That's fine.
Because it ain't a good rivalry when Tennessee's been terrible, and if
they're both good,
then it makes it even better. But look, they could be. I still don't. In the '90s, it was a great rivalry, but I don't.
It's kind of died a little bit.
Boy, they hate us. But we don't hate them because we beat them too bad for too long.
So when they're both good, once again.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Because heated would have to be more long-lasting.
Because Georgia, no matter what record.
I know. That's a...
And that's why I'm not putting Tennessee the same, because when we played them the last number of years, I just go into it as a game. But when I play Georgia every year, I'm like, do you think we could beat them 9,000-0? I want all their fans to leave at halftime. I want to
these two right here, right?
Right. When we play Tennessee,
would you say a question? Would you say this one's bigger than this one?
Yes.
This one's bigger than this one?
For me, it is. I think Florida State's to me a better rivalry than Alabama, but people in Alabama think theirs is a great.
I'll do it because of bias.
But I'm going to leave it because outside the state, it's tough. Most people watch Florida State as well. Around the country knows both games, but I think
we'll give you the birthday bias.
Yeah, I think nationwide, everybody knows the Iron Bowl probably a little bit more than Florida State. So I'm going to give them the slide because I think it's.
I'll keep it like this for you.
It's equal as far as how the players look at each other. The fan bases is equal.
What about is this higher than this? I think so. Right?
Oh yeah. Auburn, Georgia, Alabama is one of the highest of all.
What should?
But Michigan, Ohio State, I think would be the high. Most people in the country would say Michigan, Ohio State's the biggest rivalry. People in the South are going to say it's Auburn, Alabama. And if you ask me,
I thought you said these two was the highest.
They've been playing the longest. But to me, if you gave it to me right now,
that's what I'm asking. Which one is the highest?
What's the greatest rivalry? I'm biased to Florida State. I think the games are one of the best. But I would still probably put Alabama-Auburn as the best rivalry.
So they should be here like this.
I mean, yes, that's in my opinion. And then I would go...
This too?
No, I would go Michigan, Ohio State.
You actually put them that high?
Yeah, it's a big-time rivalry. Now, around the country, they're probably going to put Michigan, Ohio State because that's the northern schools and the media from the north, and that's why they're biased to the northern schools because they want them to be... You get a Big Ten team that's halfway decent, and the voters are going to vote for them because they all live up there. A bunch of damn Yankee bias.
Here's the answer to your earlier question.
So they push that. You'll hear Ohio State, Michigan, bullshit. I'll take Alabama, Auburn any day over them.
All right, so this is good, like this. Should this be higher? And normally I don't do
Florida, Georgia over Auburn, Georgia. Yes, easy. I'm gonna put Florida, Georgia over Florida, Georgia over Florida State, Miami. Yeah, because it's been for a whole lot longer. Mm-hmm. That's good to me right there.
All right. Normally I don't do within a tier, but this is like the highest. So what do you think? Everything's where it should be?
Yep.
All right. This is our official, Dadalus' official College State rivalry games.
Yep.
And I'm surprised. That's a big man to put that first instead of this. That's fair. That's objective. I think if nothing else, he is objective.
Yeah. Because that's a whole state. You understand, the state of Florida, we have Miami.
There's a lot more, but
in Alabama, there's 2 schools, and that whole state is split.
And they are. Look, this may be intense, but this is Southern intense. I mean, once again, this is Southern, but this is Southern.
Now, there's a story, whether it's true or not. I think it is.
Oh boy, here we go, story time.
I told you that. When was it? When Cam Newton was at Auburn. So I'm saying. Let me think when they national title. 2015 or so. I have to look it up.
Yeah, that one time. Yeah.
But Nick Saban, Alabama was great. They were undefeated. They were for the national title as well. And Alabama got up on Auburn pretty good. And then Auburn just lit them up the second half and won the game. And eventually went on to win the national, played Oregon and beat them for the national title.
I remember that.
And the ribbing Alabama took for coming back. 2 things happened. There's a story. That one's definitely true because it's on the news. This guy's in jail. That the Alabama fan got so mad that Auburn came back and won. That in Auburn, it's a city, Auburn, Alabama. There's a corner there, like a street corner called a Toomer's Corner is what they call it. When Auburn wins big football games, there's some old oak trees there. They're probably, I don't know, 90, 100 freaking years old. And Auburn goes down there and throws toilet paper up in the trees. They wrap the tree. They throw the toilet. You know how the old days?
Yeah, they TP the tree.
TP the tree. Auburn, Alabama guy got so mad that he went back that night next day and put poison in the trees for real. So these trees started dying. They couldn't figure out why these old oak trees started dying. And videotape showed Alabama guys. Alabama was so upset they lost, he poisoned all the trees.
Never let it be that important, guys.
He's in jail.
Good.
Okay, here's a bigger one that's supposed to be true.
Oh, boy.
I never actually confirmed it. A lot of talk it really happened. That
same game,
that there was a party, an Alabama football party at a house or somewhere, and they lost that game. And one of the Alabama fans shot another one because the fan who he shot, he was upset that the fan wasn't upset that Alabama lost.
That is where the laughing stops. And guys, as much as we've been talking about this, as fun as it is, remember, this is a game.
It's insane.
And in the end, this doesn't mean anything.
True story, the head coach for Auburn is Tommy Tuberville, or was. He's a senator now, a great senator from Alabama. But he told a story. He says, yeah, they take it serious in Alabama. He says, one day I was walking to a grocery store. And he said, I was coming out. And he says, this little old lady grabbed me by the arm. Just, you think it's a sweet little lady. She said, Coach, I don't care what you did. If you don't beat those damn Alabama, we're going to fire you.
All right. Then.
She was like 80 years old. And she told him,
that is legendary.
That's legendary.
When you got the old lady going, you kicked your son, your bitch's ass.
There's only one team in the state, and Alabama's Florida's the big boy in the state. Florida State, get all mad they won. They don't have near the fan base, so they're upset. They always get second fiddle in the newspaper. They always get mad when Florida gets covered in the newspaper and they're second. It pisses them off. But they're a smaller fan base. We're the University of Florida. Alabama's the same way. They're the University of Alabama. And Auburn has a great fan base, but it's not as big as Alabama's. They don't like that. And it makes them mad.
All right, so this is it.
That's it. I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Well, Divismo has one more question.
Yep.
One more question for your dad. Is Florida a good place to live?
Yeah.
Well, you've never lived anywhere else.
Well, I've never lived anywhere, but I traveled.
Yeah, okay. Tell us about, is it the best?
All over. I mean, I'm a Florida boy. I'm not moving. I love the weather.
You're good. I know that.
The people are southern enough that they're real nice.
Without being, ridiculously country.
I mean, as any place, you're going to have places you don't want to live, but I love that the beach is beautiful. You get an ocean breeze, even if you live in the center of the state. You get, you have your summer months where you get big storms, but they roll in and roll out. Everything's green because it rains enough. There's enough country that you can get out into the country. And we don't have mountains, but other than that, you have just as much natural beauty. You got springs everywhere. You go swimming in the springs.
And you got good old Florida man doing crazy carrying crocodiles through the airport line.
Every state has a Florida man in their state. Somehow we've got.
Oh yeah. Oh no. I know why. I read about this. Apparently, Florida's I think arrest news, because normally whenever someone gets arrested,
we're a freaky state.
Yeah, that's true. But also an arrest. I think if I remember correctly, don't quote me, but if I remember correctly, whenever someone gets arrested, there's a timeline before they can release it to the public. Mm-hmm. Florida's is super short. Mm-hmm. So anytime something happens, you're immediately allowed to get it public.
We have no state taxes. No state taxes. We got Governor Sanchez, who's going to not take any crap from the liberals. When everybody was locked down, we didn't get locked down. We didn't have to wear those stupid masks. We didn't do all those dumb shots. Your freedom. You make your choice.
DeSantis was against abortion, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Sorry, guys. You come here. Just let you know right now, Christian base, every life is important. God gives that life. We don't have the right to take it.
You're right.
That is biblical. You can fight me
off. You can always stop it. Just keep your legs crossed.
Make better choices. Make better choices. Parents who I deal with.
Look, if you
I have very low patience.
You want to play adult. See what happens with kids today? They want to be adults.
We can't do it. We're going to go into this for 50 years. We know what we stand.
I love them. It's the only place I live. The beaches are beautiful. You got North Florida, Central Florida, South. They're all a little different. You got a lot of old oak trees.
It is beautiful here. Yeah. I will say the weather is very polarizing. It's either summer, little bit of sharp winterish, not winter, but sharp winterish, tiny bit of spring, tiny.
You gotta be able to handle humidity.
Oh God,
which I'm used to it.
I've gotten used to it too, but man, I hate sweating.
There are times when
we don't have fall. What is fall?
Yeah,
I've never seen these leaves change. Yeah. I've seen that in TV shows. What is that?
Well,
I might as well see sakura blossoms.
We have crazy weather, but I mean, it's pretty obvious. If you look at the state of Florida, it sticks out. It's a peninsula.
Yeah.
So you have all the weather.
And we're close to the equator.
Yeah, so you have the weather that comes down through the Rockies, across the plains into Alabama, then over those foothills, and they can be cold, and it mixes with the Gulf or the Atlantic, and all hell breaks loose. Or in the summertime, when the heat of the day heats the land, the air starts to rise, and then you've got oceans on both sides that just fly in. That's why you get the ocean breeze, because of the lift, and it comes in to take the place of the air that just went 80,000 feet up. Then it makes a vortex, and you get thunderstorms every afternoon. But
we get a lot of rain.
They roll through. You look outside, and it's blacker than night. But then you'll turn this way. And
the way I like to put it, based on what I know about it, our weather is kind of like California, but we actually have humidity and add rain.
No, they don't get thunderstorms and stuff.
That's what I said. Add rain. They don't get rain at all. We get rain.
Yeah, they don't.
But the clear skies and the tropical, that's very similar.
Come together.
A lot of it's similar.
Look,
but we have rain.
You can live on that side of the street, and it could be pouring rain.
I've literally seen
you can turn this way
rain
and sunshine.
I'm serious. There's rain curtains where you can look over and say, if I went a mile that way, I'd be in torrential rain. I am standing in nothing right now. Yeah. It's crazy.
Because, like I say, you got a peninsula, you got that heat, and all that moisture comes flying, and it goes straight up. You get these big thunderhead clouds that just roll, but they're only so wide.
Diviso, anything you don't like about Florida?
Well,
hurricane.
Well, when you live
everywhere's got
everybody.
Something.
I mean, California's got earthquakes. Everybody's got something.
There's a something. But yeah, I don't like to hurt.
Look, you can see an earthquake coming a mile away.
For me,
the news makes a big deal, but if you're not within 50, 60 miles of that eye wall, depending on the category, you're okay. You'll get bad weather, but
if you are in it, though, your home might be gone.
We don't get tornadoes. We get some, but they're like a F1.
They're not like I would say the humidity can sometimes be a pain.
It can be a little bit. We're getting a lot of people moving down here. I think we're getting. I don't like the fact we're losing land and all these people are just building homes everywhere. Things I don't like.
I don't like how far south you have to drive to get to some places because we're so long.
Yeah.
To get to Miami's like you might as well drive to Georgia.
Well, it's 6 hours.
You might as well drive to Georgia.
Yeah.
Like some of the like southern Florida, North Florida,
it's 360
we're in northern-ish Florida. It's bad. Like that drive is real bad. I've never made it, but I made it.
Outside the big cities is nice. I mean, you get into the big cities, and it's like any big city in the country. They're not the greatest. You got probably a little more crime. You get out into those little towns. All the way down. I know something
bad about Florida, but I'm not going to say it.
Florida State's in the state.
No, but because it'll get you on a tirade, and I don't want to get canceled.
Is it liberals? Huh? Well, that's all over the country.
Yeah, but we're in the...
Nah, not really. No, we probably don't have as many as most people.
Oh, adoring fan, hello. Welcome to the streams.
Hey.
We're about to end soon, by the way, because Dadalus got to go. He said, do you like Andrew Tate? I don't know who that is.
Do we have Andrew
No, do you like Andrew Tate? I don't know who that is.
I don't know. Who's Andrew? Are we talking sports?
I don't know. Let me check. I'm sorry. I don't know a lot of, like, Andrew.
If you don't like flat land, we got a lot of trees. Like Oklahoma's flat, but they got the trees. We have a lot of trees. There's no mountains.
Oh, it's like a British internet personality. Crickboxer. Sorry, we don't know who he is. Sorry.
You can't have a basement. You live here.
Oh yes, that is another thing. We have
tables low. We basically live on a sandbar.
Is your role model? Oh, that's cool. I hope he seems like a kickboxer.
Dude, if you love fishing,
that's cool.
Hunting and fishing, especially fishing. Man, this is a state that got golf.
Yeah, there's a lot of golf down here.
Yeah, a lot of golf. But boy, if you like fishing, there's nowhere probably in the country.
Really?
They come from all over to go fishing, from all the way from here to Miami, all over.
Devismo, what was your con? What did you say? I'm not saying it because I might get canceled.
But he's talking about a lot of illegal immigrants, I guess. We don't have any more than anybody else. Oh, that was back in the Cuban day, yeah.
I mean, it's destroyed Miami.
Yeah,
Oh, that's another thing I don't like Miami. I think it was beautiful once. I've never been down there, but I heard it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Man, I would never go down there.
Thank Jimmy Carter for that.
Where would you rather go, Miami or California?
Miami.
Still, at least you're in DeSantis, huh?
I don't want anything. California is a
California is kind of. I want to visit once because it's beautiful. Well, I guess Florida's kind of similar, so what's the
yeah,
point?
I mean, look, California is a beautiful state.
It is a beautiful
It really
state.
is. But it's
But just like Miami.
it's really, it's worse than Miami. Yeah, way worse.
Well, I'm just saying, like, same kind of idea. All right, so we got to stop there. Poor Dadalus has got to drive home, and it's late. But thank you so much. I'm not going to tell you.
Fun.
I'm not going to tell you. I had another tier list out, and we're not doing it today.
Oh, Mackerel's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, he's got to go. It's a 45-minute drive home.
I got to get up at 5:30, boys.
For your very difficult job.
Yeah.
This man
It's
got
difficult.
an amazing job that pays so well. And it's technical. You do have to know a lot, but man, is it the easiest stupid piece of... Oh, Demi says, happy birthday again. Good to have him on stream. Absolutely, guys. So just so...
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, we'll do more tiers as we go. Today, what we're going to actually do... We were going to do the personality quiz thing, but I wanted to do something for you. And I knew this was what you would want to do. Just a heads up, next Thursday, we will obviously not be doing a dive with Dadalus because it's Thanksgiving. So we have to do Thanksgiving things. And I got to start studying on that day. God, I hate this game test. But yeah, thank you so much for coming by, everyone. We're going to have to end there. Poor Dadalus has got to get going because he's got to drive.
Just so you know, most of the stadiums in the SEC are about 100,000, anywhere between holding about 85,000 to 105,000. That tells you the passion.
What are the other ones?
None of them are that. Except Michigan, they're 110. They might be the biggest. Penn State's huge, just about 107. Ohio State, I think, around 103.
See, there are others.
No, I'm saying the big boys. But then down here, you've got most of your SEC schools they've got 3 or 4. And Texas A&M's 105, Alabama's 103, LSU's 103, Georgia's about 98, Tennessee's 107. Who am I missing?
I don't know.
Auburn's 89. Florida's about 94.
Florida's only 94?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's old Steve. I don't want to go straight up.
You
I
rebuilt
guess
it.
I mean, no, you're going to rebuild it.
Adoring Fan says, happy birthday. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
God
Appreciate
bless Adoring Fan. You're always welcome here.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're just ending, but poor Dadalus has got to go. You got to try.
I got it.
All right, so we'll have to go now. God bless everyone. I'll get this up on YouTube as fast as I can, and I get the tier list on Twitter as fast as I can. Goodbye.
See ya.